swear that he's the love of my life. And he was. He was, but he was also this other thing. You know, he'd pass out in his own vomit. He'd lose control of his body, he'd lose control, and everyone would clean up after him. I cleaned up after him. I mean, this man lost control of his bowels, and I cleaned up after him. His security cleaned up after him, changed his pants in front of me. He would pass out in his own sick.
They're laughing. They're laughing.
You know, and then he'd walk around. This thing that made me feel so loved, that made me feel like my soulmate, as cheesy as that sounds. I just felt like he knew me.
One of the questions is, my partner used force to make me have oral or anal sex.
Correct.
Oh, we're getting
zero
into
on
it.
that, right? You have any recollection that she didn't go with zero on that?
I have a recollection at that point in time she was framing those type of acts as angry sex. She wasn't framing them.
This dock is off limits to civilians.
I'm terribly sorry, I didn't know. If I see one, I shall inform you immediately. Apparently there's some sort of high-toned and fancy to-do up at the fort, eh? How could it be that two upstanding gentlemen such as yourselves did not merit an invitation?
Someone has to make sure this dock stays off limits to civilians.
It's a fine goal, to be sure. But it seems to me that a ship like that makes this one here a bit superfluous, really.
Oh, the Dauntless is the power in these waters, true enough. But there's no ship that can match the Interceptor for speed.
I've heard of one. It's supposed to be very fast, nigh uncatchable. The Black Pearl.
Well, there's no real ship that can match the Interceptor.
And then you went in the house and saw Mr. Depp in the foyer, correct?
Yes, correct.
And Mr. Depp was trying to urinate in the foyer, wasn't he?
No.
Mr. Depp had his penis out of his pants, didn't he?
I think I would remember
Relevance.
Mr. Depp's penis.
I'll allow. Next question.
And you were trying to get Mr. Depp out of the house, correct?
Correct, I was trying to get Mr. Depp out of the house, yes.
And Mr. Depp was refusing to leave the house, was he not?
Not so much refused, he just wanted 2 minutes to say his piece.
You took Mr. Depp's arm to try to move him out, but he broke away, isn't that right?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, so he was strong enough to break away from your grip, correct?
No.
So you had his arm and he broke away, though, correct?
No.
And isn't it true that in the entire time you were...
We're gonna steal the ship. That ship?
Commandeer. We're going to commandeer that ship, nautical town. One question about your business, boy. There's no use going. Just go. How far are you willing to go to save her?
I'd die for her.
Oh, good. Now, where is he?
This is either madness or brilliance.
It's remarkable how often those two traits coincide.
How they got there? Before they went and get the keys, they come down, they say, somebody try to get into my unit, there's scratches on my door, say, and like, I'm really sorry, but who will think is gonna get into your unit because they saw some scratches on the door, like, what, 4 inches above the door? because the dog was scratching the door, was trying to get in, and they thought about someone trying to break into their unit. I said, in my head, I was like, you think someone's trying to get into your unit? There's scratches like 4 inches above the floor and your door. That was the dog trying to get into the unit. And they were so afraid. Oh, someone's trying to get into my unit. They're like, oh, come on, really? And I actually, when they asked me to go inside the unit just to check room by room to make sure no one was there. So I did that. It's part of my job, make sure they're safe, but I didn't understand why they want me to do that. I don't know.
So the incident was May 21st, 2016. You saw her